Rick Mullaney, News4Jax political analyst and director of Jacksonville University's Public Policy Institute, joins us in studio. Kind of break down the results in the Granite State. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
All right. So we've been hearing, the reaction certainly. What is yours to what we saw last night?
Well, the first reaction is the big story. Of course, it's a big win by Donald Trump. Make no mistake about it. It's a double-digit win in New Hampshire, a state that, quite frankly, may have been his weakest state of the 50, and gave Nikki Haley her greatest opportunity. And that's because in New Hampshire, of course, it's an open primary. 40% are independent voters, more college educated. This was her best shot. And for Donald Trump, somewhat historic. Very rarely, in fact, never has anyone won Iowa and New Hampshire and not gotten the nomination. So the first reaction is big win for Donald Trump. The second reaction is Nikki Haley did outperform expectations. And with that little silver lining, she's trying to continue forward.
In that case then, and we heard her say, there are still many more states ahead of us. What does she need to do? I know South Carolina is going to be very important for her.
It's a tough road ahead for Nikki Haley, but if she wants to win, there are a few things. First is she has to impress donors that she has a path forward, and she has to raise money. It's critically important. No matter what her intentions are, if she can't fund it, she can't get there. Second, she's going to have to draw sharper contrast with Donald Trump to really peel those votes off of Donald Trump. And third, because she is the only candidate now left in this race, and remember, there were 14, and now there's 2, and she wanted it to be one-on-one. So she goes with her ads on policy differences and political differences and other challenges. Those votes could potentially come to her. That's a tall order. It's going to be very, very difficult, but that would be the path forward.
There had been some hope that she would do better. I mean, 44% isn't bad. Do you think that Trump got some kind of boost with the endorsements that he received from Ramaswamy, DeSantis, Tim Scott, or this is just kind of him rallying a base that supported him so handedly years ago?
You know what's interesting? A couple weeks ago, Nikki Haley had actually narrowed this in the polls to single digits to 7%. I believe a few things happened. Number one, I think Donald Trump got a bit of a bump out of Iowa. That was a big 30-point win coming out of Iowa. And then his team did a good job of rolling out these endorsements. Governor DeSantis' endorsement, Vivek Ramaswamy's endorsement. Tim Scott's had come a little bit earlier. That added some momentum. And he is popular with that base. So a double-digit win is significant. Polling ahead of time showed this again to be 11 points to 19. She's beat those expectations. But for Donald Trump, it was less about the endorsements and his popularity with that Republican base.
At all surprised that his legal trouble has not hurt him at all, going into the fact that we've seen these 2 primaries and also looking ahead?
You know what's interesting? The legal challenges he faces really isn't much of a problem in the primary, with many of those Republican voters feeling it's politically motivated. The challenge would be is if he gets an adverse ruling from the Supreme Court or an adverse like a conviction in a criminal case. But if you look at the legal calendar, that's not likely to happen in a conviction until maybe summer. So the legal challenges really probably aren't going to impact the primary, but they could have a significant impact on the general election.
Now, when it comes to Democratic, there was a primary sort of, last night. Let's talk a little bit about that. Joe Biden did win, even though he was a write-in candidate.
Well, go back in a little history. In 2020, he came in 5th place in New Hampshire. South Carolina turned it around for him. So this year, South Carolina is their first primary. So New Hampshire was unofficial. He was a write-in candidate. He won, of course. No delegates were at stake. It was not a sanctioned event. So for the Democrats, it's on to South Carolina. And if Joe Biden wants the nomination, he's going to get it.
Time will certainly tell, and then we'll see about a potential rematch between the two. Thank you, Rick, for
Great
your time this morning. We appreciate you.